Valence Industries produces high-grade flake graphite products from its Uli graphite facilities in regional South Australia. The group sells its products to Asia-Pacific, European and North American customers. I'm Lelda Smits, and joining me at ASX Investor Series in Sydney is the company's CEO and Managing Director, Christopher Darby. Chris, welcome back.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here.
Valence Industries has recently announced an update on operational performance. Could you recap the highlights for us?
Absolutely. We've taken a significant milestone today, moving into full operational production, ramping up our operations to increase our export volumes over the next few weeks and starting additional exports in the coming months as well.
Fantastic. When we spoke last week, you did speak about the Uli production really ramping up over the following year. How much has been sold, and when can we expect to see some sales results?
We have a significant number of customers signed up. We have customers, as I said before, around Europe, the Asia Pacific and North America. We have more than 8,000 tonnes of our first year's production sold and signed up. We also have additional memoranda of understanding with some very significant global customers for another 37,000 tonnes over 2 to 3 years. This effectively places all that we can produce with customers, although we will tweak some of those brand lines for some specialist customers we're still talking to. But it means it puts real priority on accelerating our expansion of production operations.
Are there any other details that you can release about those sales results?
They are significant sales results, but the main thing is that these customers demand of us very strict confidentiality. They won't trade with us if we go around shouting their names from the top of the rooftops, and they won't be back next year or the year after to come and buy from us if we keep talking about what they're doing. So they demand of us. In fact, confidentiality agreements can often be thicker than the actual sales contract, so they are very, very important to them to have those things as very confidential programs.
So Chris, what are your cash costs per tonne of production?
So we have a very clear production cost. We state how much it does cost us to put the tonne of graphite onto the boat in Adelaide. And for our traditional product lines, it's about $950 Australian, and we then sell that product for about an average of US $1,400 a tonne. And for our advanced products, which we'll be moving into next year, it ends up being about $1,300 Australian on board the ship, and we sell that for about an average of US $3,800 a tonne. So we do a very clear statement of cost. This is how much it costs us to actually put it on the ship. We don't play with C1, C2, C3 cost. Very clear cost on board the ship.
Okay, and Chris, could you outline what the limits of the deposit are and also how this impacts the project?
We have, as we've said before, significant exploration licences over the entire territory, some 75 square kilometres. At the moment we have a pepper which says to us we can dig to 16 metres until we establish whether there are groundwater requirements in relation to the area. At the moment, we don't think there are any of those groundwater elements in there, and even if there were, it would be simply a matter of licensing us to use or utilise that water. But that doesn't become an issue for us for at least 2 years from now, if not longer, because we also have 12 months worth of stockpiles.
Certainly. And moving on to a more industry perspective, could you outline the current balance between supply and demand?
So we are seeing a very strong demand driver for quality production. So this is production from countries that are safe to buy from, that can assure a customer of very high quality product with very low associated contaminants. That level of demand is extremely strong right across our customer interface. Where we see less demand is for that lower quality product, very fine material with lots of impurities, with inconsistency of production. And that's not what we're about. So yes, there is global shifting in that area of the market, but for us, in the customers we're talking to, continued strong demand and very firm pricing.
Okay, now Chris, I know you have just today updated the market, but when do you think shareholders can expect the next update, and what kind of information is likely to be included?
We have a number of key things happening over the next 3 months. The first of these is completing our finance facilities for our expansion in 2 stages, the first one being a US $20 million facility and the second one being a US $75 million facility. That first facility will come through in the next couple of months, and the $75 million one we won't put in place or draw down until early next year, but it's there and available to help us with our expansion. The other part is this start of operational production which we announced today. That will be significant over the next coming weeks because we will start to export big volumes of production to our customers and start receiving and very clearly demonstrating those receipts, particularly as the cash comes through the door, more importantly through into the next quarter.
Okay, and final question, Chris. What are your hopes personally for the profitability of this project?
We think there is significant profit for us. I believe that as we move from being a traditional producer of graphite, which has a very profitable business in and of itself, and as it happens, repays that entire first debt facility, we're actually then pushing ourselves even harder every single day to drive change and be beyond where we are and where any competitors might be. And so our profitability is really focused on these advanced products. We are going to be increasing our EBIT by 85% by shifting to 40% of our volumes going through advanced products. At the point we hit 40% of volume through advanced products, 80% of our income is generated by that 40% of volume. So it really becomes a quality game, even more than what we're doing now.
Excellent. Chris Darby, thank you for the update from Valence Industries.
Really appreciate the time. Looking forward to speaking again in future.